What's going on, gentlemen?
Hello.
We're doing good, you know.
Yeah,
It's a good night. We're having a good time as always. You know, we had a good laugh right before we started the episode.
That was funny. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that.
That's good stuff.
Yo,
man.
that is too funny, man.
Oh,
Yeah, that's good. I just in good moods. It's good spirits because this is some craziness now.
yeah.
Like some bugged out
I
crazy.
thought you guys would like this topic because I found it interesting to say the least.
Right.
Mhm.
That a person would get experiences or start taking up different hobbies or something to that effect, because they receive somebody's organ, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Right.
So the episode today is about just to make sure
We know.
clarification.
Yes, of course.
Is that
My bad.
is the theory that if you got someone else's organ donated to you, that
You would get their memories. in some sort.
memories and like traits and
Mhm.
things about
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Certain things that they like.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's wild because that's straight out of science fiction.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Well-
that's stuff that we've only heard on TV, movies, or just stories,
Right.
books, or whatever. So that's just even thinking about it. And like I was telling you guys before, I didn't even think about asking my sister
Mhm.
or my dad because my sister donated a kidney to him,
Right.
and so that then I'm wondering if he, if he did anything or had anything that he felt changed, because so he had a liver transplant,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
And he's had a kidney transplant. So of course the liver was a different kind of donation, and then the kidney from my sister. So I never even thought to ask him if he even had any thoughts or feelings or anything different.
He felt different when he received.
Yeah.
Like afterwards, how did he feel when he had his new kidney?
Yeah.
What did they have any experiences or anything like that?
Yeah.
I'm going to say probably not as much, only because it's in the family. You're already part of one another, right? That's your offspring. That's your daughter. She's giving you something.
Well, he's
help
my
you.
stepdad.
Oh, stepdad. Oh,
Yeah.
stepdad. My
Yeah.
apologies.
Yeah.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's why I'm saying. So like anything that
Yes.
I mean,
But
fuck,
she was
he's-
with.
he's been my mom since I was 15, and
Okay.
I'm 53 now. So that's how many years.
You know what?
So,
I take back
again,
what I said.
yeah.
Who knows why?
So
That's
it was
crazy.
still my sister
I
was
wonder
still
if she
mid-teens.
does. If he does.
If he did, so I'm not. Yeah, I wonder.
You should ask him.
Yeah. I said I
There's
didn't
some
even think
interesting
about it.
stories of people who've had those kind of experiences.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff,
Now, what was the stuff you caught up on that you? I know you said you read some stuff. What was one
Yeah,
that you?
I mean, I'll send to you right now. Then let's see. It says here there have been several intriguing cases with organ transplant recipients claimed to have experienced personality changes, new habits, or even memories that seem to align with their donor's life.
Mhm.
Well, these cases are anecdotal. They continue to discussion of a possibility of cellular memory.
Okay.
Here are some of the most well-known cases. Claire Sylvia, new craving and personality traits. Claire Sylvia's heart-lung transplant recipient wrote A Change of Heart, 1997, where she described craving beer, green peppers, and chicken nuggets food she never liked before.
Whoa. See, that's crazy.
So she basically got a heart transplant, and now she like had all these foods for like beer
Right.
and chicken nuggets
Yup.
and like,
Right.
yeah, that's wow, green peppers. So those are like things that person that she got it from probably.
Yeah, the guy who
That's what it says.
the guy
That's what it says next. He was an 18-year-old
who
young man.
loved these foods.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
that sounds like an 18-year-old
Dude, yeah,
house.
I know. Word.
like chicken
That's guy
nuggets.
food. Yeah, I want some chicken nuggets. Yeah, and reported feeling, and she also reported feeling more masculine and outgoing after the transplant. So
Yeah,
that's serious.
What about this one? This one
Go
is the
ahead.
one I heard that I liked. I thought was
what's that?
interesting.
All right.
8-year-old girl,
Okay.
all right, and her donor's murder. An 8-year-old girl received a heart transplant, having nightmares or even being murdered. She described it so vivid the doctor's parents informed the police. The investigation led to capture of the donor's actual murderer, confirming
Whoa.
details the girl had never known before.
Whoa. Yeah, you see, bro.
That's nuts.
That's yeah.
Well, see, now I know we're talking about this.
But I get it.
See,
Right.
this is the thing where like
we're more connected
What
than we
is
think.
what is reality and what is not?
Well,
You know what I mean?
But then
Like,
but see now, now you saying that because that's where I was going to go with it. So that now
makes you question reality.
Yeah.
What is
like
real?
like is it did you really like? So if we're in the Matrix,
Yeah.
did you really give that person the transplant? You know what I mean? And now if we're in the Matrix and we're all because it's on a code.
You're thinking like the simulation theory.
Yeah.
Like
So then if it's all on code,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? I just took
You
some of
got
my code and put on
coding
yours.
into you.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Same idea. I know that was a little bit out there for you, but I'm sorry.
No.
I
I get what you're saying. I totally understand that.
How crazy would that be if like over like the course of like 10 years you actually turn into that person? Like fully.
Right? Dude, that would be so
nuts.
insane, bro.
Like
oh my
like
God.
you have a transition period with like both of them.
But then that's the other thing too. So you've heard when people get hit in the head really hard,
Yeah.
or that they has a kind of brain trauma, that their personalities change.
Or they become really fucking smart. There was a case where a man, what happened, he wound up becoming like a mathematician
Right.
or something.
Yeah.
You know, he never knew math. He hated it.
Right. And now he's a freaking
like
genius.
this wizard. You know,
Yeah.
I know we're getting off topic here, but you know what is the funniest is the people that have like a traumatic injury or like they could have a cancer, whatever it is. They have something happened with brain injury, and now they have an accent from another country. Like a woman had like a Chinese accent. But she's originally from like England, and she's like that. People think I speak a Chinese, but like that's how she talks. Yeah,
No.
and like there was another lady who's like speaking with the French accent, but she's like, they showed a video of her, and she's like from England because I think they took this in like England. Yeah.
Bro, that's insane.
I can't wait till I find out. I don't want this to happen to anybody, but you know, get that case where someone's talking to from Brooklyn. They've been in Brooklyn their life, and they're talking to Brooklyn.
And they're from like Finland,
right? Right, exactly.
Yeah. Well, you know,
or Jersey.
Well, so that then I wonder.
Of course.
So we don't have that in our stuff, but I'm wondering if that would be something that would happen from an organ transplant. You know what I'm saying? That you would, like you said, maybe not immediately.
They say
but
foods,
after,
they say,
right? If you're doing the foods,
or like mannerisms,
right?
Yeah, you could pick up
music,
mannerisms.
Yeah,
they even said
music. Yeah, right. Said that music that you
they
turn
never
around.
Listen to certain music.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man.
You know, it shows you how connected you are to your body. You don't even realize it.
Like, what's if I got like a heart transplant and like, the person was like Jamaican? And like, I started doing like when people, and every time someone says something stupid, I go, I do something like that, you know? You know what I mean? Because that's
yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, man. But it's the truth. But see that, and I mean, yeah, it's still the same thing to me, but you know, with your vehicles or people. So like you say, like they say, you know, because I ride motorcycles. So if there's somebody crashes a motorcycle, don't buy the crashed motorcycle. Like, don't rebuild it. You should. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But same thing with a car. You don't buy a car that somebody died in because, you know, it's like Christine.
Remember that movie Christine? Somebody died in.
Yeah. Well, you ever see that? Did you see the horror movie Christine? With the car?
Yeah.
So, like, have you ever seen that one? The car is haunted. You ever see that?
Yeah.
So that then think about it, bro. I mean, if the car is haunted, you know,
they should inform you and be like, we have a kidney for you. We have a heart for you. We found but the person was murdered.
Right.
Still
well, that's what
they'll be like,
no. But that's the same thing what Lou just read. The 8-year-old girl giving details to her. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's got to be insane, bro. Like,
that means I would rather die.
Yeah, I'd rather
get your heart.
But what if it was from a serial killer? You were getting a serial killer's organs.
That would be a good movie. People. I think they've done something like that.
Really?
Already.
I don't know if they did
that.
Because that would
somebody
be...
got so
if it's not Hollywood
dreams.
Yes, they did do that movie. I don't remember the name of it, so I'm not even going to make believe like I remember. I don't remember. But yeah, dude,
we do have phones,
that would be sick.
Up.
So now do you turn around, right? And now do you keep an eye on that person? Because now you as the authorities or the doctor or family member, you know, well, they don't tell you who it is that you're getting the organs from.
Right.
Like they just tell you have to write a letter to the family.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that then, depending on who it is or whatever, that then, you don't want to know who it is. You're just saying thank you for it, and I appreciate, the love, rah, rah, and all that other good shit. So, it's one of those things. But yeah, man. So if you, turn around and could get traits from somebody because of their...
I totally see it happening.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Listen, what do you call it?
I don't know.
So Jamie Sherman, right? This kid wound up liking from a transplant from a young boy who loved classical music. After the transplant, Jamie had never enjoyed classical music ever, and then wound up liking it. And he met his parents, and they told him he was getting into classical music.
You see? There you go.
When you see, this is not the thing. It's not that I don't believe this is happening. The thing is that when it does happen, people don't believe it. I'm thinking, how do you believe that? That totally makes sense. There's energy there. It's something that's from somebody else that they were carrying with them for a long time.
Makes you really like what is, like I said, like what is reality? Like what are we?
Yeah.
Like,
well, I mean, think
crazy.
about it, bro.
Like stuff like that. Like right.
But now, so you and I are a little bit more sci-fi geeks with some of the stuff, right? And listen to what I'm saying. That's what I'm going to say. You're more of like reality sci-fi. Is what I subject you as. Like, like the Star Trek, it could be, like that's real. We could see the Star Trek happening. I think Tom and I are more on the, we believe that kind of stuff, but we are more like the mythological stuff. So then, like, everything is how, like Lou said before, like it's that connection, you know what I'm saying, that everybody has. So that then when you get an organ from somebody and you do, like you just said, like with that classical music, do you get their sensitivity?
Depends. It could just be certain traits. It may not be everything that is in
Well, no, right. Not everything. But I'm saying, like, instead of liking the classical music,
anything,
would you be more sensitive? You know what I'm saying? Do you think?
Maybe.
Would that?
Depends on the person, right? Was
that would
that
be
person
crazy.
sensitive? What were their traits? What was going on? It's basically you're inheriting what they had.
Right.
So it's a piece of them. It's making you helping you live, and it's healthy, and so all that. But at the same time, you're also getting memories from that person. And it's only be certain ones, I'm sure. It wouldn't be all of them, of course, I imagine. But
that is insane.
It's amazing. It's amazing. We were talking about the spiritual part of it, right? In this view, when a transplant happens, it's not just a physical merging, but a spiritual blending. Recipient may feel different, not because of cells alone, but because they are now living with part of another person's soul and energy. Some people even hold rituals or blessings to help welcome the organ and harmonize spirituality with the donor's essence.
That is.
Right? There might be a little bit of that in there too.
Yeah, it's mysticism.
Yeah.
Put it in there,
Yeah. Because, dude, listen, I believe, like, when just alone, not even with the transplant, I believe that, like, just the three of us doing the show, as long as we've been doing it, that we have picked up traits, things from each other. Whether we say something real quick, that like, oh shit, that's something Kenny would say. Oh, Tom said that. Yo, freaking Lou, he did that shit the other day. I can't believe I just did it again. Like it's that. So it's got to be 100-fold. You know what I'm saying? When you do get a transplant, you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
because you are
get a good person. That'll be
and then that's the toss of the dice. That's the toss of the dice.
That's why they should have a good personality profile with the organ.
Yeah, they should have. They should screen it. They should absolutely do that.
So they do. You do. It's like I said. So when my sister donating the kidney,
really,
right? You have to go through the whole thing. So you have to change the way you eat. You have to be a certain kind of healthy for a certain amount of time before you are allowed to donate whatever. Of course, if you die, before you, whatever, they still have to test it out to see if it's a good match for whomever and make sure that it's a healthy organ regardless. But, you still fill out the paperwork and whatnot.
I'm sure there's a lot of it.
Yeah. And now because there's living donors. So kidney is a living donor.
Right.
You know what I mean? And, like I said, those, you do have to go through some kind of questionnaire. You have to do therapy session. You have to go talk to the shrink and stuff to make sure that you're a sound mind to you're giving up a part of your body. You're giving up a little bit of something of you.
Right.
So that, yeah, man, but the people don't read it. So if I'm the one, God forbid, that I needed an organ, I don't know who it is I'm getting it from unless, like I said, it's a living donor.
Right.
And so you never know. You never know who you're going to get it from. And all of a sudden, after you get it, you wake up and you're just like you said, have a different accent.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You actually like people now when you didn't before.
Yeah.
Right.
You actually are just like, yeah, you know what? The world is great. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, or you could turn around because, like I said before, I've read stories where people had a serious brain trauma, and they went from being the nice guy to, and taking care of the family and whatnot, to now it's like, yo, he's a womanizer, and, he's an alcoholic now, and he's always out partying, or just mean criminal kind of guy and whatnot.
You wind up getting that heart.
Yeah, and then you
They should
change.
screen it.
There you go. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no.
Hit the button, you fall to the hole. Not you. Yeah.
What kind of person do they have right now? Something's gonna sleep through there somehow.
Great.
Maybe not. Maybe it doesn't happen to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe it's happening and you don't know it's happening.
Right, to you.
People have it, right.
Well, yeah.
You
to
don't
the
know
person.
it's happening to you.
Right.
So you can't identify it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it can be happening. But you just don't.
True. But would it be enough that other people notice that it's happening to you?
Possibility. Maybe other people can see it, but you're not.
Mm-hmm.
And you need someone to point that out to you once in a while.
Or maybe people know that you were an asshole before and they're not going to tell you you're being a nice guy now.
Yeah.
Like they're just enjoying the moment.
Right. So now they're going to tell you shit.
Yeah. Dude, I think that would happen to me. People wouldn't tell me nothing.
They're like, tell you shit, man.
Don't tell him. Don't tell him he's a nice guy now.
Yeah.
Don't say none of that. That is freaking hilarious. But they say so now one of the other things they say, part of what we were saying, the energy transfer and chakras. So in Eastern spiritual systems, like the Chinese medicine, the body has energy centers, the chakras, or the meridians.
Right.
Major organs are tied to emotions: heart, love, courage, joy. The liver is anger and frustration.
Okay.
Kidneys is fear and anxiety.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So imagine that, man. Again, you're getting the liver, and if you're getting that person some of their chakra,
It opens your mind up to like, wow, this goes deeper than just, your energy is being transferred and used somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
And that person may experience something from you.
Right.
Yeah.
Or vice versa. God forbid, if you ever needed anything like that, hopefully that person's a good person.
Yeah.
Because I do believe that
yes,
if they gave off that energy and that's who they were,
mm-hmm.
it would be hard to believe that it wouldn't transfer over somehow, in some way.
Yeah, no,
I'm going to try to force all my energy into one of my organs, and then I can be transferred into another person.
Yeah, and live on.
Yeah.
Chucky.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that's like
boy.
Chucky. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like through transplant.
Yes, I'm just saying.
I can't believe that movie.
Yeah, but again, that's even a perfect example. He was transferring his soul, his spirit, and he transferred it into the doll, and his evil is what that was, and tried to transfer it into the little boy, and see, like here too. So going with the Chucky, reincarnation and soul contracts, and some New Age and reincarnation philosophies, people believe nothing happens by accident. The donor and recipient may have a soul connection from a past life. Dude, that's like you turn around and when you meet somebody and like, oh my God, I feel like I've known you for years.
And it's you.
It was you.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's super uncomfortable right now.
I'm just saying. See? Just a little bit. A transplant might be part of a soul contract, a pre-life agreement between souls to meet in this way. After receiving the organ, the recipient may experience memories, dreams, or traits tied to the donor's past life experiences.
Okay.
Like I said,
everything has energy.
Yes, sir.
I don't even think people realize that what we have is, the older we get, if we're smart enough and wise enough, you start to notice these things and realize You know,
Yeah.
oh man, I wasted all that energy on this bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Doing this, and but that's life. That's how
Right.
you learn. But hopefully you get to that point where,
Right.
you know that, and you're in a good place.
Yeah.
Good place.
Well, that's what they say. Youth is wasted on the young.
Right, of course.
You know what I mean? Because of had I known then what I know now, forget about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But this is, I think there is a connection in some way or another, Do you ever hear of, this is a little off the subject, but so supposedly if when you pass away and you could either go up to the light
Right.
and go that way, or where you'll be recycled and you'll come back again
Okay.
and all that other stuff. But if you turn around
Yes, I've
and
heard
you
this
look at the
before.
universe,
You
you'll
say,
go
take
home.
me home. You gotta say, take me
Take
home.
me home.
You got to say, take me home?
Yeah.
Or
that's
supposedly?
I supposed. Maybe. Oh, maybe just.
But no, I'm not saying
maybe you don't
I'm
have
not
to say
saying
it.
it's
Maybe just
real.
your
I'm not
intention.
saying that at
Yeah.
all. I
Well,
am
that's
not,
right, because you're the one that told me about that. Right.
I'm just saying it's just a different
theory.
I've never even thought, how would I know to turn around when I was there?
Well,
Is that even possible? No. But get
ahead,
back to what
go
we
ahead,
were
go ahead, go
talking
ahead.
about.
But no, but then now with that though, we're sorry, because we already, I'm saying that, but so we go by, of course, again, what we see in movies. When people turn around, they're seeing where they just left from or where they just came from. So like when you turn around, you see yourself on the operating table, or you see yourself in the room, or wherever it was that you
when it
just
first
died.
happened.
When it first happens.
I'm
So
talking
now
when you're
so what you're saying is that when you get into the light, there's nothing else. Now you're already in the light.
Right.
If you turn back around is where you'll see.
Even before you go into the light.
Oh, okay,
Before you go inside. Instead
Yeah,
of
if you
going
see the
into
light,
the light,
say turn around.
turn around.
Wow. Dude, that's
How
craziness.
would you know to do that?
Yes, dude.
Or what's if it's a conspiracy for the devil?
Oh,
Turn
here we
around,
go.
they say, oh, take me home.
Here we go.
Oh, comes up and
Dude,
grabs it.
yeah.
I'm gonna...
Like the claw was in a creep show, something like that.
No, I mean,
Thriller
I'm
and
just
that-
talking,
Yeah,
I'm just being, I'm playing the devil's advocate.
Taking my job, Arby, there, buddy.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, and so again, then, if somebody passes and they turn around and go to how you're saying that they go back to
And
wherever
you
beginning that we
I
are,
guess you travel to wherever it is in the universe you'll come from.
are they going to be able to go there because now they are donors? So when they die, so you get what I'm saying?
So you think they lose a piece of themselves in some sense?
That's I'll go with that
I don't
theory.
think so. I don't
Because
think so.
they're not, their spirit is going to to what people believe could be our
Depends on what
universal
organ.
origin.
I guess it was.
So
I don't
then-
think so, though.
I said then what
I
we
think that-
said.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. I couldn't answer that logically and
What's
say
that?
how that
Right.
would or wouldn't be.
That if so when we said, oh, sorry, my back, my neck and my back. So we go by what is said by the Eastern spiritual system, chakra stuff. If you donate the heart, there's love, courage, and joy.
Right.
The liver is anger and frustration. The kidneys is fear and anxiety. Right. So then let's just say that, somebody donated, somebody knows what we just said, that if you go to the light, or just before you get to the light, you turn around and you can go back to, where we are in the universe.
Yeah.
But if they donated their
What
heart,
happens if they were in an accident, they lost a limb?
but that's what I'm saying. But if they're dead,
No, but hear me out.
okay,
So in their life,
right,
they had an accident, they lost a limb,
right.
and then they died. They would still be accepted just because they only had one less
No,
limb.
no. I'm saying that if they, whatever part of their body was donated, that person that died,
I don't know.
their spirit was supposed to go, if they're able to go to
Yeah, I
wherever.
don't think there's like a restriction or anything like that. I think you'll go regardless, but I don't know. I couldn't answer. Wherever it is that we go,
because I'm just saying, like, if part of
I'll
their
see you there.
spiritual energy would stay with you,
that's all I can say.
if they decided they were going to go back to our universal birthplaces. You know what I'm saying?
That would be interesting.
That
'cause
would
if
be wild
That would
to know.
explain a lot of things because you would come from different. Imagine
Mhm.
everybody came from like a different
Oh,
universe or something.
so that boom, when we turn around and we hear people that can tell the future,
Yeah.
is it that not so much that they got a transplant, but if, that they hit their head, You know what I mean? Because you look at, I mean, like we know Nostradamus, foretelling the future and whatnot. And I forgot this other Charles, something like that.
You lost me there for a minute.
So I'm saying that people, if you have that spiritual connection with somebody because of a transplant or because of, let's say
So
even a blood.
them.
Yeah. So then, you say like a blood transfusion,
right?
That you would get some of what, like their energy, their powers, as we're saying, could be, if that's how people are able to foretell the future. Did that make sense?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
I guess. Anything's possible, right? Who knows? Like when I go in, people donate blood all the time. So
right.
You don't hear about it that much as far as blood is.
Because I don't even know. Do they even know that it's happening to them?
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
But I think the fact that I think it's a good thing, and I don't think it's a bad thing or anything that should be, had any type of demerit or anything like that, because you went to the afterlife without something in your body.
Right.
No, I don't think it works like that. But I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's interesting though that how connected you are to your body and how someone else can experience.
It's wild.
Yeah. Because like you're saying, so like even here, mediumship and channeling, some mediums and spiritual sensitivities believe that the donor's spirit may linger for a time near the organ, especially if their death was sudden. So then if you got one from somebody who was a medium, that then you might have that power too.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy, man.
Yeah, I wonder if that...
That's what I'm saying. So like now, I would be able to tell the future, not tell the future, but, just because, you got the, what's her name? The Long Island medium.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you got that lady and, she donates blood. So now her donating blood is now.
I don't know. Yeah, I think we would have heard of that already.
What's if
like,
a
you heard
Jedi?
Of this, you would have heard of that.
What's if you got a heart donated for a Jedi? Does it have metachlorians in it? Do you get some little bit of force?
But
like
you
might.
You
just like push a piece of paper.
Yeah, but you might. Because you have some. Exactly. It may not be Jedi Master.
Yeah.
But you have enough to be able to.
What's if it's from Yoda?
To bring your cup across this table.
What's if it's from Grogu?
Okay.
Oh yeah.
How old are we right now?
Yo. Yeah. That's exactly how old we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one. That was a good one. Yeah. That is a good one. But yeah, it's with anything, especially now because, we've had our spiritual conversations, if you will, and, just about where life could be, where we've come from. We've had all that.
Right.
Kind of
theories. We went on the alien ride.
Exactly.
I mean, we're into all of that because we're open-minded to things, and we're not allowing ourselves to be just tunnel vision.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
We're open to other things, and that's why we talk about the things we do, because it's interesting.
Yeah.
When you hear something like, you're like, this is pretty cool. This could happen.
Yeah, that could
someone
be true.
could transfer their energy onto someone else,
and that would be fantabulous.
But it may not happen all the time. I'm thinking it's just maybe it only happens to certain individuals. For what maybe the individuals it happens to is they're more open to something else. So
I didn't think about that. Right.
A lot of people get transplants. You don't hear a lot of it. You only hear from certain. I'm sure if you research, it'll be a bunch, but not like.
Yeah.
Maybe people who are more open, their soul is more.
Yeah, that would be one to look up. You know what I mean? To hear more people who received transplants, and maybe even talking to the families of the donors to see if that, you know what I mean? That would be kind of
already. I'm sure they do.
Yeah, that would be
maybe.
Groovy.
They probably do, for sure, no doubt about it.
That would be way groovy. Yeah, because I tell you what, when you feel that, like I said, that we do, like we've, all just spoken on, just, like I said, being in other people's presence and, them rubbing off on you. I mean, bro, that's...
Talk about rubbing off on you.
You see? It
Not
wasn't me
rubbing
this
one
time.
out on you.
I'm just saying,
Oh, God.
That's a different podcast. That's a different one. Yeah, that is a different one. Oh, my God.
Thanks for coming, everyone.
That's a good one.
No pun intended.
That was good, Tom. That was good.
Oh, man.
As you walked away with the pearl necklace.
He always has something to say at the end, this motherfucker. Oh, man.
Yo, that's great. That's not really what happened, people. I promise. Yeah, I don't know if we're going to be able to put this one on YouTube. Just for that part.
We
have to cut that part out.
We get away with this.
Yeah.
All right. People don't like it.
That
Just
is
get
too
over
funny.
yourself, man.
Yeah.
Please.
There you go. Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, man, this is super interesting, and it is really cool, because my next question would be, is it that you yourself change
No, I think
upon receiving, right?
Oh, yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Because you are grateful for being able to live again, because now you have a healthy organ.
So you need
So
to
then
accept
it's
it.
you, right? So then now, you know what? I lived a little bit, on the edge. I was a little bit like this person. Now I've gotten this gift to be able to live longer because I've gotten this. Now me, myself, is it really that it's me, myself?
They say that. They said
Right.
that's another case. It could possibly be because the fact you're getting something and it's a mental thing.
Right.
They talk about
So
that
you're
as
grateful
well.
You mean
for
like,
it.
oh, okay. I thought you meant that it was like a psychosomatic or something.
Yeah,
like
right,
that.
right. Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Like they're like,
So, for instance,
like,
go ahead.
oh, I hear but with these stories that we've been reading, though, these people didn't know about the other people's stuff. So I don't know.
Too coincidental.
I mean, maybe that also happens, though. Maybe sometimes it's psychosomatic, where they're like, oh, I think I have something,
Right. Yeah.
And it's nothing, but
Right.
then, but then for some where it's unexplainable, it's like, how did, they know that this person liked this, type of food or something like that they didn't like before,
right?
Mhm.
They find out that the person they got the heart donate from liked that type of food.
Yep. Yeah.
Tofu. I never ate tofu.
Yeah, I didn't like it. Now I do. But now again, as we get older,
Yeah.
our taste buds change.
Right.
There are things that we like now that we didn't like back
yeah,
then.
Of course. There's
You
a
know
lot
what I'm
of
saying?
stuff now.
Right.
Now.
So that then, like you said, like we've been saying, now is it just psychosomatic that we are now liking these things? You know what I mean? Is it now just, again, us being grateful for getting this donation, that now we just are thankful and nice to people? You know what I'm saying?
I guess something would change with you. I would imagine it would. And hopefully when you get it, you, of course, go through the transformation, because I heard it's not that easy. Just because you get one doesn't mean you're going to survive it either.
Right, yeah.
It's a hard thing to go through.
Mm-hmm.
So I think all of that, you need to have a positive mind regardless, as best as you could to get through that.
Mm-hmm.
I would imagine, and people around you, of course.
Right. Yeah.
Right. The support.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's necessary.
Yeah.
I would imagine it's a very traumatic experience in some way or another.
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
Because you do feel it.
Emotionally too.
Yeah. Like I said, because my sister donating the kidney, you end up, you feel some kind of way. It's not so much that you feel empty, but you just do feel different. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, huh.
Who, you
like,
or your sister?
My sister, I'm saying,
Oh.
she would feel, she felt, did a bit different, like now it's the whole thing, I'm helping somebody else live. You know what I'm saying? I'm helping somebody else. I've given so that they could live.
That's a good thing.
And that's what I'm saying.
Awesome.
So it's that whole, it's just all of that.
That's
you know what I mean?
maturity, right? I mean, that's.
Well, yeah, listen, she's always been more mature than me.
Well, I'm just saying,
You know
it sounds like the right thing to do. I mean, if that's what she thought, that's great.
Yeah,
awesome.
No, listen, my sister is amazing. You know what I'm saying? She's
anybody does it, that's awesome.
Yeah, and she, like I said, for her to turn around, I was like, you're better than me, whatever.
Yeah.
Not,
right.
just like how I was.
Yeah, no, I get that, yeah.
But it is. It's those things. It's that emotion. Even too, it's that emotion that you had just before you passed that might still be in that organ. You know what I mean?
Anything, right?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, if you're in a traumatic accident and you're passing, it's that last moment, like, you know what I mean? And it's over. You know what I mean? That's now stuck in your body. That's why they say, like, ghosts, because ghosts don't know that they're gone.
Right, because the energy lingers.
Because the energy lingers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They didn't know that they had passed on because it happened like it was just that super shock. They're like,
right.
no,
so they're stuck in that moment.
Exactly. So
Which
now,
is kind of
if
strange,
it's
right? Imagine that.
no, I don't want to.
No,
Yeah, no, I don't want to either. You
Not
know,
at all.
but
Stuck
then
in a
it's
loop.
yeah, exactly, and but then that's a different kinds of well, I watch all those ghost shows too, and it's the different kinds of ghosts that they say.
Yeah,
out
there's conscious ones,
Right.
There's ones that are stuck in a loop.
Yep.
It's not even like it's just like a memory. It's like
Right.
It's like it's not even like a ghost. It's like a time like it's
like a time loop.
Yeah, there's like time has crossed.
Right.
Like
Yep. Yeah.
they say time doesn't exist. I
Right.
mean,
Yes.
allegedly,
Right.
So
Remember
maybe
Wonder
it's
Woman?
something.
She's like, what is
Maybe
time?
it's a glitch in the Matrix.
There you go. So you know what I mean? It's just
It's a
there's
past
so
recording
many.
getting
Right. Yeah.
loops.
Replay
We're on
it
a
again. Yeah. We're on when you used to record videos and you had the VHS tape, they would still sometimes be like it would get that little static.
But they say it's like stored energy in like the house. Actually, when that happens, like it's like
What happens?
like
ghosts, certain
like
ghosts.
with ghosts, like the whole like metaphysical like theory is that like it's not actually the ghost, it's just energy from like it's like that, like if someone walked in the hall the same way every day for like 10 years,
Right.
20 years of being in the house, that stored energy and that it's like like has like the house has like memory,
Right.
like there's energy in the house
Right.
from that person.
Right.
It's not
Yeah, no, I
even
get
it's not even a ghost. Those footsteps is just like
Yeah.
fucking energy stuck in
Right.
the house, which
Right.
is
Yeah.
weird, fucking crazy. It's not even a ghost. It's
Yeah.
just you're hearing footsteps. It's
Yep.
like sort of,
Yeah,
I
I'm out.
hear footsteps in the house all the
See
time.
ya.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
gone.
fucked up.
Right.
Myself, yeah, have a good night.
Yeah. And so again, boom, I give you like, so now because you said
Yeah,
that and me thinking now with this, so at work today, matter of fact, it happened today. The AC isn't working properly at work. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm standing in between the two machines I work on and I'm talking to one of my staff. And I was like, yo, you smell that? She looks at me like, what? Like, you don't smell that. She says, no, what? Smelled like cigarettes.
Somebody was smoking.
It smelled like somebody was smoking and had come in and they had like they weren't smoking in there.
Right.
You could smell
it
the
on 'em.
nicotine.
Oh, you
on
mean
them.
when someone comes in
Yeah.
outside,
Right.
especially when it's raining out?
Yeah,
or-
and it was raining today, bro.
Yeah.
It was raining today, and the girl, I said, you don't smell? She goes, no, and she takes 2 steps back from me, and you know her if I say her name, and she's looking at me like, I don't know what you're talking about. I was like, yo, and it's chilly over here. You feel the AC? She's like, it is hot. What are you talking about? I'm like, nobody smells that. And meanwhile, I'm like, it's just me and people like 20 feet away from me, and I'm like, whoa. So with that,
That's definitely
right. So now, organ smoker.
Yeah, well, yeah, you would obviously have to get a healthy organ. You wouldn't
Well, yeah, I'm
get
just
a
saying,
organ.
but if they were around somebody that smoked or if they were ex-smokers, you know what I mean? That goes back to the cravings.
Yeah, but if it's
you
already,
know, it's like,
oh, I see. If they were ex-smokers, that's good.
right. Then, you know, the organ would still be healthy enough for you to get it, especially if they just died. That's like, you know.
And I forgot you could even get lungs and stuff
Yeah,
like that too.
right. That
It's
was
like
in one of
crazy.
the
How
other
do you even
stories.
do that?
That's, I'm telling you, man, Lou, I believe you are 100% right when that you say that everybody is connected. You know what I'm saying? Everything is
everybody,
connected.
yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
I'll make the movie analogy, you know,
Yeah.
the Avatar. You know, so you have
Yeah.
Avatar, and they were all connected to Awa. You know what I mean? And they had it that it was living in that tree in the first one.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And the other one, the
didn't
water
see it.
one.
I didn't get to see that.
Oh,
Sorry,
the
I don't. Spoiler alert for everybody, but you can tell me. I don't care.
well, but
I'll watch it. But
I'm gonna
I
watch it
didn't- I
again.
didn't
It's
see
freaking
the,
great.
water
yeah,
one
the
yet.
water one. You know, it was underwater. You know what I mean? They were connecting with all the fish, and I meant that it wasn't the tree. It was like
Right.
it was like almost like a.
The people were different too, right? They were more. They
looked the same, like they had gills and
Gills and
whatnot.
stuff like
yeah,
that,
but it was
Wet man.
there was like another species of people.
yes,
in the
another
water.
other avatars
They
that
were
were living
water
in the
people.
water. Right. I it's not like a plant.
A different planet or same
Yeah,
planet?
no, same planet.
Yeah.
It's it's like seaweed, I guess. Whatever the trees that would grow under in the water. That's what they were connecting to.
Oh.
On land, it was the tree.
Right.
And in the
soil
water,
was the
it
seaweed.
was like that seaweed kind of stuff, you know,
Right,
that thing, and
whatever grows
they connected
on the ground. On the
yeah, and come to that it was all connected.
Right.
Like you see, it was just like the tree, the roots were down in the water kind of thing. It was, you know, it's all cool. But going back to what you're saying, that it is, I do believe that we are all connected in some way, shape, or form. You know, those of us who are closer to each other is because we have a better connection, whether that we knew each other from before, whether we drank out of the same pool of water, whatever the case may be, it was that we're all connected.
Why would I drink out of the same pool of water?
Because back in the day when we didn't have to dig out from the well and get the whatever, we were and knocking people out with the bucket.
Okay.
We're going to go way, way back to the early days,
Yeah, well, we didn't have words yet.
Yeah, exactly. Ugh.
I just think it's just the fact that they say you got to be careful what you put out into the universe.
Definitely.
So what you say
Yeah.
can actually come back and hurt you.
Yep.
There's so much stuff out there, so many different things that people talk about. A lot makes sense. Some of it is just, like, you're like, what?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
Which is cool. That's why I say, if you're open-minded and you talk about these things and you look at them, heck, my wife thinks I'm the biggest geek there is. I got National Geographic on. I'm watching the thing with the pyramids.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Anything that's,
Yeah.
Travel Channel. I watched it.
The Ghost Hunters
The
and
Ghost
stuff.
Hunters. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Ghost
That's
Adventures.
what we're about. That's what we do. We're nerdy.
Yeah.
We like everything from almost any place, pretty much. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot more that we don't. But
Yeah, we haven't, but yeah.
give us time.
But it is, man. I do. I think this is a good one for me,
Like, listen,
I'm sorry.
Psychologically influenced, knowing details about the donor might create subconscious associations, leading recipients to perceive changes in themselves. In other words,
that's what we're saying. Yeah. Like,
right. Cellular memory theory. Some researchers speculate that cells, particularly in organs like the heart, may store certain biochemical imprints that could influence emotions or behaviors. However, this is highly controversial and not widely accepted in the mainstream science. Of course, it's not.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
Medication and trauma effects, the physical and emotional impact of saving a transplant, along with strong immunosuppressive drugs, can lead to psychological changes that might feel like new personality traits. It's freaking nuts.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's amazing how that can just go to someone else and they can experience that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
like hitting the lottery, man. You better hope you're getting something good. They do it with the bone marrow, too. I wonder, like you were saying earlier, I wonder with the bone marrow if that has anything to do with it, too. Probably not, because you would have heard about that already.
Well, I don't know. I mean, think about it. How many people think that they might be crazy when they say that all of a sudden I've got these urges or these thoughts?
I play classical piano all of a sudden.
All of a sudden.
I have no idea how that happened.
That would be different. Like doing the classical piano. Well, so like doing an instrument.
Another language.
Yeah, like that would be things that people would want to celebrate and or say because they got that, because of having a transplant or whatever. But the ones who turn around like, I eat broccoli now, or, I turn around and I can, I drive a little bit faster, or I feel like I'm more energy, or I quit smoking. Like those are things that people aren't going to like, oh yeah, hey doc, this is what happened. Let's put it in the, medical journal.
Right.
Nobody's going to really give a shit.
Everybody's appreciative of it,
though. Of it like that. Right. Yeah, exactly. It's like, listen, I'm just living another day and it's whatever, and that's.
Imagine another language, though. You just like.
Dude, would that be insane? But again, these are things that, we've heard, seen, spoken on. People, those are the experiences that people have had, being able to do all that stuff.
And then you have those who think coincidence,
right.
Confirmation bias. Recipients may naturally develop new tastes and behaviors over time. When they learn about their donor, they might selectively connect these changes to the transplant. In other words, it's by accident.
Right.
It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
It just happens to be kind of attitude. But when it's strong, like the stories we read earlier, that's the fascinating part. We're not just talking about just basic little things. They're talking about, okay, wait a minute. This happened and that happened?
Nah.
Yeah, no.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't work for me.
Yeah. No.
Like that I couldn't believe it.
Right. Yeah. I'm with you.
It's just crazy.
Yeah. I mean, shit, like we've turned around and said so many times before, just be kind to everybody.
Yeah.
Because you never know. You know what I mean? You get a transplant, you'll need a transplant. You got to be kind to people because, again, the universe, I think that we're all just, linked. We're linked in.
Dust. We're space dust.
We're all space dust, yeah. We're linked in space dust.
We are space dust. That being said.
So with that, appreciate everybody being here with us. Thank you for listening. Gentlemen, appreciate y'all being here. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
As always.
Thank
As
you.
always.
With that, love, peace, and hair grease.
Live long and prosper.
And go vegan.
Holla!